Hamburg's U-Bahn swallows the morning crowd in a gush of warm diesel air. Seagulls shriek overhead, unaware that beneath Jungfernstieg station lies a bunker big enough to shelter half the Altstadt. Built at the height of the Cold War, the Warren still wears its era like peeling wallpaper. Steel blast doors, faded civil defense posters, a hand-cranked air pump that once promised breathable hope after fallout. For decades, it served as nothing more than a storage annex for lost and found bicycles. Now engineers in high-vis vests are measuring wall thickness and ordering new NBC filters. Germany insists it's routine preparedness. Critics hear sirens from the past echoing into the present. Across the Rhine, spreadsheets tell a story the rusting bunkers cannot hide. Since Russia's full-scale assault on Ukraine, Berlin has watched European defense outlays surge, up 18% in 2024 alone, the steepest jump since NATO began counting. Yet money is only the headline. The fine print is a deadline. In closed-door briefings this spring, Interior Ministry officials warned that Germany must be structurally ready for a Verteidigungsfall, a state of defense, within 4 years. Their intelligence horizon runs to 2029, a date circled in red on procurement charts and civil defense plans. Ministers insist the aim is deterrence, not doomsaying, but the language is stark. Get the sirens working, fill the fuel tanks, teach the public where to run. Prepare now, they argue, so that preparation itself keeps the danger theoretical. On the 8th of June 2025, the Federal Office of Civil Protection and Disaster Assistance, better known by its tongue-twister acronym BBK, issued a 5-page decree that jolted city halls from Flensburg to Freiburg. Paragraph 1 was blunt. 579 public protective structures are to be reactivated with immediate effect. Paragraph 2 added the modern twist. Every shelter must be pinned, photographed, and capacity tagged inside a brand new smartphone portal dubbed Shelter Finder. Within weeks, survey teams were hauling laser scanners, Geiger counters, and Wi-Fi beacons through subterranean parking decks and cellar gyms once dismissed as Cold War fossils. Each site now gets a QR plaque at street level. Scan it and the app displays distance, free bunks, wheelchair access, even the thickness of the blast door. Push notifications mesh with the existing cell broadcast grid, so if sirens howl, phones vibrate with turn-by-turn walking routes in real time. The goal is not just to modernize hardware, but to weave bunkers into everyday digital muscle memory. The same map that guides you to brunch on Sunday will guide you to filtered air on a far worse day. Germany's warning network used to be a patchwork of aging sirens and polite radio interruptions. Now it hits every pocket and eardrum at once. Since February 2023, a cell broadcast backbone blankets all phone towers. When BBK presses send, every handset inside the polygon flashes the same black-on-yellow alert, shocks the speaker at max volume, and refuses to be swiped away for 10 full seconds. Once a year, WarnTag turns that system inside out. Church bells, digital billboards, FM stations, and 38,000 sirens fire in choreographed unison, while millions of phones buzz with the blunt line, "Dieses System kann auch im Kriegsfall verwendet werden." In 2024, the test reached 92% of devices, good but not perfect. So telecom firms now weld backup batteries to rural masts and pre-cache alerts for low-signal valleys. The message is unmistakable. The alarm you mock on Thursday could save you on any other day. Germany didn't always sound the alarm. After reunification in 1990, civil defense bunkers slipped into the real estate pages, auctioned as wine cellars, climbing gyms, mushroom farms. Budgeteers cheered the peace dividend, and municipal siren towers rusted beneath satellite dishes. 2 generations grew up equating air raid drills with grainy newsreels. That complacency shattered on 24 February 2022 when Russian armor crossed into Ukraine. The shock ricocheted through Berlin's glass Reichstag. Chancellor Olaf Scholz stood up 3 days later and declared a Zeitenwende, an epical turning point. Pledges followed. 100 billion euros for the Bundeswehr, but also a mandate to resurrect civil defense. The logic was brutally simple. If high-intensity war had returned to Europe, the home front had to matter again. Overnight, Cold War relics transformed from quirky heritage tours back into life support assets. and the rust on their blast doors looked less like history, more like neglect. Step inside Cologne's Kaiser Wilhelm Ring car park, and the makeover is almost invisible, until a freight lift rumbles 2 levels down to a floor the parking tickets never list. Fresh epoxy gleams on concrete arches. LED strips trace corridors once lit by buzzing neon. Along one wall, palletized boxes wait for their cue. Fold-out bunks, chemical agent filters, jerry cans of food-grade water. Engineers point to a ductwork tangle above. A triple-stage ventilation stack armed with overpressure valves that can slam shut in 3 seconds if sensors taste sarin or chlorine. The new activation drill runs like a pit stop. Minute 1, seal street vents. Minute 4, switch fans to overpressure. Minute 12, deploy bunks. Minute 27, Wi-Fi repeaters sync with emergency antennas so phones keep a lifeline to the surface. In half an hour, the same garage that sheltered BMWs can sustain 2,400 people. Air scrubbed, lights humming, morale bolstered by the faint smell of fresh paint rather than Cold War dust. Open Shelter Finder on any German smartphone and the interface feels disarmingly mundane, like a transit app that happens to cover apocalypse routes. A pulsing blue dot marks your position. Colored rings show every bunker within a 10-minute walk, complete with live capacity readouts that tick down during drills. Swipe up and a checklist appears. 3 liters of water per person per day. Calorie-dense tins, prescription copies, power bank, pet food. Tap print and the app spits a QR code for fridge magnets the postman now delivers free. Supermarkets join the campaign too. Scan your loyalty card and the till bundles a 72-hour readiness basket. Rice, beans, batteries at a 5% discount, turning civil preparedness into an everyday shopping habit. Weekends in 2025 have a new soundtrack. The clack of tourniquets tightening around plastic limbs, the hiss of camp stoves cooking blackout-friendly stews, the barked Stromweg that cues trainees to navigate pitch-black hallways by touch. Volunteer fire brigades report sign-ups up 40% since the Ukraine invasion. The THJU, Germany's blue-helmeted technical relief corps, now runs double-capacity courses in decontamination tents behind DIY stores. Corporate HR departments slot first aid certificates next to Excel training, and driving school students can't book the theory test without proof of CPR practice. Across every flyer and LED billboard flashes BBK's brisk new mantra. Sicherheit ist Vorsorge. Security is preparedness. Civic duty, once a dusty lecture, has become a Saturday hobby shared over thermos coffee and the smell of disinfectant wipes. Not everyone applauds the sirens. A June ZDF poll reports 60% of Germans deem the shelter revival sensible. 25% feel uneasy but understandable, and the remainder dismiss it as Bundestag theatrics. Economists grumble that shoring up concrete coffins drains cash from childcare and railways, while cultural critics warn that endless push alerts could hardwire a siege mentality. Conflict normalized one QR magnet at a time. In campus seminars, the word Kriegsgewohnung, growing used to war, flashes across PowerPoint slides. Disaster management researchers answer that dual-use bunkers pay climate dividends. The same overpressure vents filter wildfire smoke. The diesel generators keep ventilators humming during blackout heat waves. To them, civil defense is simply resilience with sharper elbows. Strategists sketch the danger like weather fronts on a synoptic chart. To Germany's northeast squats Kaliningrad, a Russian coastal enclave bristling with Iskander missiles whose 500-kilometer arcs sweep Berlin's suburbs in less than 8 minutes. Pivot east, and Belarusian airfields host drone wings that can swamp radar seams over the Oder in half an hour. Spin the compass north, and the Suwałki Gap, an 80-kilometer corridor of Polish scrub, stands as NATO's flimsy land bridge to the Baltic states. If that link snaps, Germany becomes the alliance's main air and rail lifeline overnight. Analysts crunching launch times and railway timetables arrive at the same verdict the BBK now prints in black ink: hit full operational readiness by 2029, or risk playing catch-up against physics. On a state websites, a new badge nestles beside year built and energy class. Bunker ready, 30 kilopascals overpressure. Agents brag that a 1960s Hock bunker in Bremen now houses designer lofts with the original 40-centimeter walls preserved for heritage plus security. Influencers post reels of transforming storage rooms into micro-shelters, dry bags under IKEA futons, solar lanterns clipped to sprinkler pipes, tagged number bunker basics. In rural Bavaria, volunteer carpenters refurbish a 1957 siren tower, live streaming the lift and fit of a digital horn that syncs with BBK's cloud. Church bulletins list Wednesday choir practice and Friday blackout cooking workshops in the same breath. What was once fringe prepper talk has slipped into mainstream etiquette. Just as you know your smoke alarm battery, you now know the nearest blast door. Logisticians inside the Interior Ministry keep a scoreboard pinned to a corkboard map. Targets met, targets missed, red flags. Among the red pins, a third of legacy bunkers still lack fiber links, replacement NBC filters stuck in supply bottlenecks, and half the rural sirens are running on diesel sets older than the students testing them. Officials admit the timeline is brutal. 579 shelters must be fully wired, filtered, and drill certified in 48 months, a tempo more akin to startup sprints than federal procurement. Skeptics call it patching the hull while the ship sails, yet engineers counter with Germany's trademark faith in process, modular fan units 3D printed in Kiel, prefab blast doors laser cut in Saxony, rail pallets scheduled down to the minute. The bet is simple: move faster than uncertainty. Readiness in Germany has slipped from the fringes into the fabric. QR codes on lampposts, siren tests in calendar apps, blast door specs in real estate blurbs. The country isn't bracing for apocalypse, it's hedging against odds no longer unthinkable. Whether the refurbished bunkers stand as silent insurance policies or museum pieces that never see use depends on forces far beyond Berlin's control. But the choice to prepare lies squarely at home. So what do you think? Sober prudence that keeps the peace, or a signal that nudges Europe closer to the brink? If this dive into Germany's bunker renaissance left you curious, hit like, subscribe, and join us next time as we uncover another story.